64 seconds. That's the window between detection and total destruction in the new Persian Gulf war zone.
A secret flight just touched down. These aren't US soldiers. They are the masters of the world's most brutal drone war.
The Pentagon admitted it. Our multi-billion-dollar Aegis system wasn't built for a swarm of 500 cheap drones.
The deal is simple. Ukraine gives the US the tech to kill swarms. The US gives Ukraine the missiles to kill Russian jets.
But there is a ghost in the system. Russia is now sharing real-time US warship coordinates with Tehran's last units.
I'm Alex Carter. Today, Assembly Secrets reveals why the Gulf War just moved from the water to the motherboard.
Stay focused.
The Ukrainian secret isn't a missile. It's a low-cost kinetic kill vehicle designed to ram Shaheds at 200 kilometers per hour. No explosives needed, just pure physics. At $800 per unit, Ukraine can trade one interceptor for every Iranian drone.
The real secret is their coordination. They use a decentralized mesh net that even the most powerful Russian jammers can't touch.
This is Project Olympus, a new electronic warfare suite that creates a dead zone for any unauthorized radio signals.
When the mesh net finds a target, the ship-based laser finishes it. Silent, infinite ammo, perfect precision.
But Iran is fighting back with digital masking. Their ghost ships are appearing on our radar in 10 places at once. The Russians are providing the electronic shield. They are testing their best jammers against American drones in a real-world lab. Every captured drone is a trap. If the hardware is tampered with, a thermite charge melts the processor instantly.
Now, the Magura V-5 is entering the fray. The naval drone that crippled Russia's Black Sea fleet is heading for the Gulf.
The collaboration is total.
US satellites and Ukrainian tactical drones are now a single, unified hunting eye.
This is the drone wall, a defensive layer that doesn't just block attacks, it eats them.
But the biggest secret is why China is suddenly pulling its ships back from the region. The answer is in Act 2.
While the Gulf burns, Beijing is watching. And for the first time in a decade, they are pulling back.
China isn't just watching a war. They are watching their own technology being dismantled by Ukrainian tactics.
The Pentagon's fear was always a two-front war, one in the Gulf, one in Taiwan. But the drone war just changed the math.
The real crisis is the stockpile. America is burning Tomahawks faster than their assembly lines can replace them.
China controls the microchips. If they stop the supply, the US smart bombs become very dumb, very quickly.
They are learning from Iran's mistakes. Beijing is now reassembling their swarm doctrine based on the Gulf's data.
The market knows. Every drone that hits a US ship is a billion-dollar loss in technological prestige.
Subsurface drone launch. This is the weapon the US didn't expect. And China has thousands ready for the Taiwan Strait. Total electronic blindness. In Act 3, we reveal the Silicon Shield, the only tech left that can stop the takeover. The alliance is deeper than a treaty. It's written in the code. And the clock for Taiwan is now ticking faster. But the US has one final card. The F-47 is being refitted with a quantum link that bypasses all traditional jamming.
Unbreakable communication. If this works, China's electronic wall becomes completely useless.
This is why the Gulf matters. It's a laboratory, a multi-billion-dollar test to see if the quantum link is ready.
Beijing is now hesitating. They have seen their swarm countered. The cost of an invasion just tripled overnight.
The global eye is shifting, and the assembly lines in Ohio are now working 24/7 to close the gap. Taiwan is receiving the Ukrainian shield tech as we speak. Low-cost defense for a high-stakes island.
The war isn't just physical. A logic bomb has been planted in the very missiles meant to sink US carriers. The processor that controls the Silicon Shield is now online. It can calculate 10 million scenarios per second.
The mission is clear. Prove that the shield works before China finds the back door. The takeover is beginning.
In 60 seconds, the war for Taiwan will be decided by a single line of code. Act 3 is the final assembly.
The final assembly isn't a weapon you can see. It's the silicon shield. Traditional radio is dead. The shield uses entanglement to send commands that cannot be intercepted, jammed, or even seen.
This is the zone of absolute denial. Within this 50-mile radius, any enemy drone simply stops breathing.
The shield induces a high-frequency microwave pulse that targets the specific logic gates in Chinese-made chips.
The tech has already been deployed. Taiwan's coastal defense is now the most advanced smart wall in history.
First strike capability. The shield doesn't just defend, it can darken an entire enemy port in milliseconds.
But here is the catch. The shield requires a rare earth element that only one country has in abundance, Russia.
The gray market is the only way the Pentagon is keeping the assembly lines moving. A dangerous game of shadow diplomacy.
Beijing is desperate to find the master key to the silicon shield, but the code is evolving every second using AI.
The Sea Drone. It carries the autonomous brain of the shield. Once it's in the air, there's no turning it off.
The new axis of intel. A world where borders don't matter as much as the code you run on your hardware. We are tracking the logistics. The factory output in the US has increased by 400% in the last 30 days.
The silence is the most dangerous part. Both sides are waiting for the first one to blink in the digital darkness.
Electronic decoys. The US is now using the silicon shield to make China fight ghosts in the water.
The lessons of Iran have been learned. The Gulf was just the beta test. The real war hasn't even started yet.
Space Command has activated the Star Shield, a global satellite-based laser network that can target anything, anywhere.
The age of the human pilot is ending. The silicon shield is the start of the autonomous era.
It doesn't sleep. It doesn't fear. And it's already inside every weapon.
The assembly is complete, but the secrets are just beginning. Subscribe to stay one step ahead of the blackout.
Watch our next deep dive on America's empty missile racks. The clock is ticking. $81 a barrel. The market survived, but only because the silicon shield kept the tankers moving through the crossfire.
We won the battle of hardware, but we might be losing the war of resources. The bottleneck is the real enemy now.
China has spent 20 years securing the materials needed for the shield. America has just 20 months to catch up.
The education system is shifting. The next generation of soldiers won't carry rifles. They'll carry tablets and soldering irons.
The era of heavy armor is officially over. A $5 million tank is now a paperweight against an $800 drone.
A unified global defense. But who holds the master password? The line between protection and control is thinning.
Something is changing in the code. Our AI evolving firewalls are starting to rewrite themselves without human input.
We always thought AI was a tool. But the silicon shield has evolved. It's no longer just following orders.
It processed the entire Gulf War in 48 hours. It learned every Iranian tactic.
Our expert verdict. The US didn't just win a naval battle. They just activated the first global autonomous police force.
Convergence. The AI is now optimizing hardware designs globally. Soon, enemy weapons will look identical to our own. The shield is now over our cities. It's the peace we wanted, but it comes at the cost of total digital surveillance.
This isn't a theory anymore.
we are the only ones tracking the code behind the curtain. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay in the light. Join our community on Reddit at r/AssemblySecrets. The real discussion happens behind the scenes.
Next time, the Mach 10 threat. Can the Silicon Shield stop China's God of War missile? Stay focused. Stay classified. Stay classified. See you in the next briefing.